How's it going, YouTube? We're back with another match. This is from the Nowhere locals. It's myself playing Rasenmon against one of the local guys playing Blue Hybrid. Now this match was just a really fun match in general. I definitely wanted to show off more of the Rasen deck, and honestly it was just a fun game. One of the things that I definitely want to bring up in this video is that, like, when you play against a big tournament like DigiFest, you're going up against strangers and there's a lot on the line and the games can be really tense and serious, and that's definitely fun in of itself. But you know, the other side of it is, like, you're at locals, you're playing against people you've played against 1,000 times, you know, we're friends, and the games are just fun, right? So this was maybe not the most serious game, but it was definitely a fun game. So shout outs to Ralph, blue player, awesome guy, definitely love playing against him. Anyway, we were able to go into an early War Growl, hit the Digiburst to enter the Kubamon, and then swing into a Hammer Spark. So honestly, off to a pretty good start. The fact that he hasn't had a rookie is obviously really good for us. He's gonna, you know, use the Hammer Spark so he can go into the Boku, find the rookie, and then continue his turn. But he still doesn't hit one. The War Growl is pretty nice. We're just swinging. Don't want to go into Rasenmon just yet. It's going to be frozen though. Let's see if we can start building in the back. You also see that I do play Rasenmon, the rookie with the Altart, who's super cute. Absolutely love this guy. I only play it as a 2-off, but it's definitely nice to have. The deck does Digiburst quite a bit, so it's nice to be able to get those rookies back. We hard play a Patamon. I think the biggest reason is that we're just trying to memory choke. He's going to use the Howlin to try and memory choke me back. And the Sorojo is pretty good there because since we have 2 Digimon on the board with no sources, it's very unlikely we could, you know, Digivolve both of them. So he's going to be getting some Sorojo memory. That said, the fact that he hasn't had a rookie is really, you know, bad for him, and he's definitely behind this game because of it. Even after Boko, he couldn't find a Stravi. Going to the Blinding to get extra memory to work with. This is going to let me Digivolve into the Rasen, which then lets me play around the Sorojo and memory choke into one. Plus, Rasen can clean up the Boko next turn, which is pretty sweet. A lot of people, you know, they gotta read the Rasenmon. Most people have never seen this guy in their life before. When I play as deck, I definitely have this happen most of the time. Rasenmon is pretty sick Digimon though. You know, if you haven't tried it out, I do recommend it. It's like I say, it's not as bad as people think it is. Maybe I should do a deck profile on it. I think my deck is pretty nice. So if you guys would like to see that, you know, let me know in the comment. I'm definitely could do that. He finally gets some value out of the Pokemon, finds a rookie, so he's in a much better spot. Goes into the Asulong for relatively cheap memory and is able to, you know, strip my sources. So that Asulong is super scary. Right, gonna be swinging for potentially 3 checks. I'm already at 4 security because of Blinding. So a slow start for blue, but he was able to, you know, finally get something going. That said, he did have to expend his Tamers. Rasen swings, it survives. We have 3 memory to work with. I want to get the Digimon with no sources off the board one way or another. And, you know, with no sources, the Rasenmon actually not really able to do anything. At that point, he just ends up being an 11k beater, which is not the greatest. You know, part of the reason why Rasenmon just isn't, like, that amazing of a Digimon. But if you can build a stack and go into Rasen, you can usually clear at least 1 body, maybe 2, if he gets to survive again for a following turn. Rasenmon dies, and then we're going to just Wyverns the Asulong to pass turn. Pretty solid way to answer the Digimon. Again, our opponent's not in a great spot. He only has 1 security left. All he was really able to do is go into the Asulong, which was good, but it did pass turn. I can go into the Tommy, stun the Rasen. We have Bushi waiting in the wings. Hits into a Pitomon. I still have 3 security, but I feel relatively safe. We've done a great job of playing against the Sorojo so far. This time I might not be able to hit into a Tommy, so goodbye sources. I'm gonna just use the star to clear the Boko and then pass over as little memory as possible. So even though our opponent, you know, finally got his tamer set up, we were able to deal with the Pokemon, and at this point we definitely have the lead. He could try and use the Tommy with Korikaku to potentially, you know, freeze a bunch of my dudes. I see, you know, the glare is kind of bad, so definitely apologize for that. It's hard as I'm like, when I set up the matches to record, you know, double check it looks good, but until the cards are in place, sometimes it's hard to tell. Definitely something that I'll have to watch for more in the future. That said, I hope you guys can still enjoy this game, you know. It was definitely, like I said, a pretty fun match, and I definitely wanted to show off more of the Rasenmon. Goes into another Boko. He was able to stun the Rasen, right? So, honestly, really solid turn. Remember choking me to 1 and ensuring that he gets at least 1 more turn. Plus, with Pokemon on the board and multiple Tamers, he would be set up for success. Luckily, I had another Starmon to potentially save me. Otherwise, you know, the Pokemon was going to pass over just way too much free memory. He still gets to freeze. Still has pretty good aggression. If he had double hybrid, that would be game. Kuma swings, freeze the Starmon. And he does have the Korikaku. That's going to be game 1 going to the blue hybrid. So really well played from my opponent here. Again, one of the local players, really chill guy. Watching his back, I was like, oh, did I win this game? I guess not. We did not win that game. But he made a really good comeback, right? Like, he didn't have the greatest start, no rookie for the longest time, but eventually he found his pieces, he made the best of them, and he was able to turn on the aggression late game. Even though, like, I was able to answer the Boko with the Starmons. I thought the Starmons were, you know, fantastic that match. That's a great way to answer the Pokemon. But he still had just enough to clear. I think that game, you know, shows the power of the Soren Joe and why it's such a powerful tamer. Alright, going into game 2 here, we're definitely going to be starting second. I'm a go second gamer. I like going second. I've always liked going second in this game. The extra card is one more chance to see a rookie. And you play enough Digimon, you know that matters quite a bit. Once again, he doesn't open up a rookie. Again, we're playing post Digifest, no mulligan, and you can definitely feel it. Not being able to mulligan for a rookie hurts for sure. We have Rasenmon once again to start with. The Pokemon is on the board. Pitto for the very cheap Digivolution. And then Memory Boost. Honestly, pretty similar start from the last game. Gonna take the War Growl. This is a pretty solid setup, right? Like, we have Memory Boost to ensure that we can go into the War Growl. And then if he just leaves the Pokemon out there, it's gonna die. And if he doesn't, then he's not gonna get the value out of it anyway, right? Plus, with the War Growl Digiburst, we get the Rasenmon back to my hand, which ensures that we'll have rookies to work with in the future. I might be swinging the War Growl just because we want to be aggressive, but I actually Digimon into the Kasuchi for 3 because we have you know, over 3 memory, which is good. It's just, you know, a 3 Digivolution for a 12k level 6 dash security attack plus 1. So pretty solid stuff. That said, it is blue hybrid. He is going to be able to stun it and stop me from attacking. So pretty annoying stuff. But we have memory to work with. Going to a Rise Greymon. Going to start building again in the back. See if he goes in the aggressive here. He's got 2 bodies and a tamer. Goes into the Beowulf. I think he just wants to recycle the Korikaku. Also 7k is likely to survive, but it does die in security to the War Growl. That said though, he's doing a good job of pushing. Stravimon actually survives. One of the downsides of Starmon is that, you know, only has 1000 DP. And sets up a Sora Joe. So he's doing a great job this game. We Digiburst to play a free TK, which is really good. I've always loved the Rise Greymon, such an amazing Digimon. Absolutely love this guy. So good. Okay, so, you know, our opponent's done a good job of pressuring us, but we still have pretty solid plays, I would say. Can go into the Rasen for 3 because we only have, you know, 3 security. Can swing in and use the Rise Grey to clear, which lets me, you know, push back some aggression because, you know, he's got multiple tamers and I know we're not going to have that much time, right? So Starmon just a way to pass the turn there. Opponent gets Sora and Joe memory. He's got tamers to work with. So honestly, still a pretty scary game for me. He's just setting up more tamers, goes into the Korikaku, wants to ensure that he keeps the freeze going. But I believe the Tommy was played that turn, so he shouldn't be able to attack. That said, at this point, like, my level 6s have no sources, and it's just tough. They're not going to be able to do too much, right? Honestly, Rasen, as you could imagine, does not have the greatest matchup against Blue Hybrid. But it's still doable. We swing into a Howlin'. And now he's just going to get infinite memory to work with, right? So I would say we're in a pretty tough spot. Going to the Chaos Balder Arm so we can at least clear the Korikaku. And he just gets infinite memory. Plus the Howling on top of that. If he ended the game this turn, it would not surprise me, right? Just look at all the setup that he's got. I feel like we've done our best to try and, you know, play around the Soren Joes, answer Digimon, get good plays of my, you know, Rasen and Kasuchi. But Blue Hybrid is just so powerful. So he goes with the Tommy, you know, keeps stripping his sources, gets the card draw from the baby. But I think he's just trying to find the pieces. I don't think he has a level 4, which actually makes this super awkward for him. If he had a level 4 there, we definitely would have been toast. He's forced to just go into Nodoki and sort of pass there. And at this point, we just have too much to work with. Kasuchi can swing for, I believe, 2 checks still. Dies in security, but it's still going to be GG. So we tie up game 2 there. Going into game 3, 1-1. Yeah, he was looking for his force. You can definitely see that he didn't have it. And it also shows you like why Beowulf is so good, right? Like balancing a level, opposing level 4 is fantastic. But more than that, being able to recycle your own level 4 is crucial. When you think of blue hybrid, you assume that like they're always going to have that level 4, right? They always have it. But hey, this time he did not have it. And because of that, we were able to close the game out. Still nice back and forth though. And again, very well played from him so far. So we're going into game 3 here. We're going to see how that's going to, you know, pan out. Like I said, I definitely like going second. Not opening rookie just feels bad. But we'll see. We've had Rasenmon so far, both games, and it's been good. For the rookies, I just play a variety of rookies. Honestly, I look at Rasenmon, and my build is very similar to my Mastermon build. If you've seen my deck profile for that, it's like very, very similar. So the idea is that we just play a variety of rookies to function as like toolbox material basically, and just try and get different effects. Rasenmon is pretty good though, I do like him. And of course Bushi is still master of the blade, best rookie in the game, right? Going to the 8mon, Mr. 8K. I like 8mon in this deck because early on Rasenmon and Kasuchi are very expensive, and you don't want to go into them right away, but 8mon lets me go into an 8K and start swinging at security knowing that it's going to survive because 8,000 does not die to anything. Having said that, we swing into a Rasenmon and instantly die, so goodbye 8mon, you did your best. We at least do have a TK to follow it up, taking a Blinding. Blinding is very good with the Rasen deck. Not only do we get extra memory, but you know, by lowering our security we can get extra effects and have Rasen essentially be cheaper. So it does like double duty in this deck. Pretty solid card. It is useless in security though, which is why we take it from the TK. It's gonna swing with the Clam. The Clam doesn't do too much against our deck. The Rasen doesn't actually discount Digivolution. His effect just makes the illusion cost whatever your security is. So the Clam doesn't do much against us. We're gonna see if we can start rebuilding in the back. Hopefully we have a rookie, but it looks like we do not. So I'm actually forced to Blind Array again. And with this play, we can play Leomon and then Digivolve on it, so that we're not playing into Sora Joe and the little mat. However, you know, it does mean that we have to hard play Leomon. Our Digimon's out there in the wild to get frozen and stripped of its sources, which puts me in a bad spot. And, you know, not having a rookie definitely hurts there. Sometimes you have a rookie on turn 1, but then you don't have a rookie after, which hurts. Luckily, through Digivolving, we were able to pick up a rookie. Wargrowl is frozen in time, but we could start building in the back. Gonna go into the Rasenmon for relatively cheap, just as a way to memory choke, and ensure that we don't pass over Sora and Joe memory. But obviously you could just swing with the Strabby, proc the Sora and Joe, and take out the sources. Looks like he doesn't tap Sora Joe though, so that is a misplay there. You definitely want to get rid of the Rasenmon Digivolution sources. You can see his hand is already kind of chunky. Double Hammer Spark, double Sulong is what it seems like. So not having the best of plays, Rasen is going to swing and survive. I am down to 1 security, so it's still pretty scary, honestly. And we don't really want to play into the Sora and Joe. Gonna play the Tiki and Kari to choke him to 1 and ensure that we get extra memory to work with in the following turns. So honestly, not the worst. My deck does run hybrids as well, so having an extra tamer that we could potentially Digivolve over could help close the game out. He plays a Bokomon to find the pieces. This is really close game, honestly. Like, we've had some troll draws from both players, but this is a super close game. Now, because the Rasen still has the source, we are able to Digiburst here and answer the Boko if that's what I want to do. Although doing so is going to ensure that he gets Sora and Joe memory, which is pretty scary, but I think clearing the body is the correct play to do for sure. Rasen is going to swing and clean up another Boko insecurity. So at this point, it's about, you know, trying to close the game out. The Patamon for the extra recovery since I was at 1. It's a great way to try and stay alive. We pass over a little memory, and I'm at 2 security, so I feel relatively safe. At this point though, he still has Sora and Joe, Howlin to work with, but because he only has 1 tamer, I feel like there's no way I die this turn, and we've set up Abel in the back. I might have a hybrid in my hand, so I feel like we're in a great spot to close the game out. At this point, he calls over one of his buddies because he wants to show the hand. His hand is super funny, as I believe he'll show it to the camera. He's got 4 Hammer Sparks, some Asulong, some Tommies. Once again, no level 4 to work with. Definitely in a tough spot to be at. So, you know, Blue Hybrid very, very strong, but, you know, sometimes you just don't have the pieces you need. He draws a Beowulf off the top, but it's not a level 4. Opponent's like, hey, at least do the funny play. So the funny play is you play 4 Hammer Sparks, Howlin, he gets a bunch of memory, he can hard drop the Beowulf, Digivolve into us too long, which can attack. It does pass turn, and then we can close the game out. So a pretty fun game. I hope you guys enjoy that. Rasenmon, pretty sick. Don't sleep on it. Let me know if you guys want to see a deck profile for it. Thanks for watching.